Hello everyone. Welcome to the 8th day of 21 days of machine learning with Code Warriors. Our today's topic for discussion is decision tree regression. And decision tree regression is one of the mostly used and highly recommended ML algorithm for both uh, linear data as well as non-linear data. So let's start with what is decision tree in technical terms. So let's see its definition. So decision tree is a flowchart like tree structure where each internal node denotes a test on an attribute, each branch represents an outcome of the test, and each leaf node holds a class label. So what this definition means is that just like the natural trees, the decision tree works in the same ways. There is a root node, and root node is connected with several internal nodes, and at last there is a leaf node which holds the label of the class. Now here internal node will act like a test case. Suppose there is a value x which is going from root node to these internal test cases, and if the x will satisfy any of the test cases, then it will reaches to the another test case, and there are several internal test cases until the outcome reaches to a leaf node which holds a class label and the prediction is made. So when we move further, you will get a clear understanding of this definition. So let's move to our next topic. So there is a word known as cart in this decision tree, and what its full form is classification and regression trees. So since our today's topic is decision tree regression, so we will focus on decision tree, and classification trees will be explained in the later videos. So let's move further. So now this is the decision tree flowchart, and an example is explained here how this decision tree works. So first of all, there is a root node, and root node is connected with several internal nodes, and there can be multiple internal nodes or a single internal node after the root nodes. So as you can see, the root node and this internal node will act as a test case for our data points, and if the and there can or there always be a two possibilities, yes or no. If the possibility yes, then we go to the next case and check our another test case, and it's also satisfy the condition, then we will get a label and a prediction is made. So this is how a normal decision tree works in the back end. Now after these flowcharts, we will see the working of decision tree. So as you can see here, the plot on the left hand side, as you can directly see from the plot, that data are the plots of this data point is not in a linear fashion, it's a non-linear fashion. Since when we move on x-axis, there is not a linear change in the y-axis. So from and so decision tree will be mostly satisfiable algorithm for this data set. So as you can see on the right side, after we have implemented the decision tree on this data set, there has been a random split of the data set, and after splitting we have get 5 different regions, and after splitting the data set into different region, then we calculate the average of each region, and the average will act as a label to that particular region. So whenever a prediction is made, if the label is corresponding to any of the averages, then we will classify them as that the following data point is belong to that particular region or label. So this is how the decision tree works in the back end. Now in back end, the decision tree will split our data set into random splits, and each splits is given its label by calculating the average of that particular split. So let's move further. So this is all about the theoretical part of the decision tree. Now for running the decision tree model, we have to use these 4 lines of code. So for using the decision tree regressor class, we have to import it from sklearn.tree, and after importing a decision tree regressor class, we have to instantiate it with the object. So the object of this class is regressor, which is equal to decision tree regressor, and we will pass here one parameter random state, which is equal to 0. The random state value can be any integer value, but we are using here 0. Some of other people will also use 42 as the random state value. Depends on you what you have to use here. So this is just a random state seed value, so that every time you run the model, your randomization of the data should always be same in every cases, so that you get the correct output during your fitting of the model and prediction of the model. So after this random state variable, now we will fit our model with the X train and Y train. So we will use the dot fit method for this. So regressor dot fit, and we will pass X train and Y train. After fitting and training our model, now we have to predict the outcome. So for predicting, we will going to use dot predict method. So for this, we will use regressor dot predict, and we will pass the test data as the parameter. So X test is the testing data that we are going to pass, and the result will be stored in YPRED. So this is how the 4 lines will constitute a decision tree regression model. Now, after completion of both theoretical and practical part, there is one more point I want to discuss with you: the advantages and disadvantages of using decision tree regression. So first of all, we will talk about the advantages. So as compared to other algorithms, decision tree require less effort for data preparation during pre-processing. So as you has learned about the data pre-processing steps in the previous videos of our 21 days of ML, so you know how the data pre-processing steps are done. So as you can see that decision tree require less data pre-processing, so it's very useful and handy for us, and it will reduce lot of our time. So this is the first advantage. Now the second, a decision tree does not require scaling of our data. So this step is also a part of data preprocessing, where we don't have to scale our data, which means that standardize our data or normalizing our data into the same range for all the columns of the data set. So this work is also not required. And the third advantage is that if there are any missing values in our data set, then it does not affect the training of our decision tree model. So it's also handy if there are some missing values and we have forgot to handling that missing values, then decision tree will won't to get affected with these missing values. So this is the advantages, and in short, these advantages are mostly dependent on pre-processing of data. Now after this, we have our disadvantages of using decision tree. So the first disadvantage is a small change in the data can cause a large change in the structure of decision tree, causing instability. As you had seen earlier, this decision tree uses the splitting of data. So when there is a small change in the data, the split can be of the number of splits can be different. The regions that we have got earlier can be different in the another split if the data has changed a little bit. So this will cause the instability in the decision tree training model. So we have to careful about that. And the second point is decision tree often involves higher time to train the model. As you can see that decision tree flow chart, if there are multiple internal nodes and there are multiple cases before we reach the final leaf node, then the time required for that calculation is very much high. And the third point is decision tree sometimes calculations go far more complex compared to other algorithms. As I said in the second point, that the calculations required for prediction in decision tree can be far more complex than the other regression models that we have learned earlier, like simple and multiple regressions, polynomial regression, which require less calculation as compared to the decision tree regression. So this is all about the decision tree regression. I hope you had cleared all your concepts, and your doubts has been cleared from this explanation. And and for eligibility of the certification, you have to comment out the summary of your work about decision tree regression in on our LinkedIn post, so that you can get the certificate. And if you have any doubt, then you can connect me on LinkedIn and ask me personally about your doubts on the LinkedIn. So the thank you for listening me.